Greetings, users. Welcome back. Mihai here with another Feed the Beast Strategy Guide episode. Last time we were talking about Buildcraft. Specifically, we talked about the assembly table and how you can use it to make chipsets and stuff, and how these chipsets are used to make gates, specifically iron gates, gold gates, diamond gates. What I've done today is I've actually set up a little demonstration, more in depth about the Buildcraft gates. So what we've got here is a bunch of is a bunch of structure, what's it called? Cobblestone structure pipe is what it's actually called. So, the stuff's actually really simple to make. It's basically cobblestone pipe. It's cobblestone transport pipe. So that's 2 cobblestone, with glass in the middle. It gives you 8 cobblestone transport pipes, and then you just put it in there with some gravel, and boom, you've got yourself cobblestone structure, construction. Pipe. Now, what this stuff is basically it is a pipe that you can place, but does not actually function for any kind of item transport or for liquid transport. It's just physically a pipe structure. Now, what you can do with this is you can place it next to chests, next to machines. Over here I've got a redstone energy cell with it connected to it. So it's any place that you actually don't need pipes, but that you would like to use one of these gates. Now obviously we're going to talk about what these gates are used for. So I've kind of mentioned the basic interface in my last video. But now what we're going to do is take a look here. So I've got just a basic pipe here, or basic gate here. Okay, so what you see here when we open up the gate is that it has one feature that you can do at a time. So basically, things like if it detects a redstone signal or a redstone signal's off, then emit a signal. Now, it is next to a project table, which has an inventory, so therefore we're getting the options for inventory here, which would be inventory is empty, inventory is items in inventory, space for in inventory, meaning it's not full yet, or if it is full. All of these will provide an output, which is usually right now just redstone signal on or off. However, you can also, this cobblestone structure pipe, you can also put piping wire on. For instance, if you wanted to set up transport pipes that have piping wire down it, but then you have a spot where you don't have the transport pipes, you can put the structure pipe next to it, and you can actually connect the piping wire, which is actually what I've got over here. See how I've got piping wire down the back side of this cobblestone structure pipe. So what I've done is I've set it up to a lever here that'll connect it. So let's say we had, transport pipes moving items all along, and I wanted to shut those off. I could put the structure pipe down here to, boom, allow that to shut this off for us, even though we don't have piping connected to it. So, basically what we've done here is I've put down the iron gates. Now you can tell these are iron gates because the little tiny corners are kind of a grayish color, like an iron color. So this is the AND gate, which means you can have 2 gates to do the same, to do an output, and then you have the iron OR gate. So if you know anything about redstone circuitry, you have an AND gate, which means this and this in order to create something, or it can be this or this to create something. So then I've also put down the gold gate so that you can see the difference here. The iron gives you 2 slots, the gold gives you 4 slots. So this is the iron AND gate, this is the iron OR gate. Now this can also, you can also put specific items in these here, I believe. Like if you were to put, I'm not sure. I'll talk about that later. And again, this is gold because you can see the yellow. And this, can you guess what this is? This is the diamond. And this gives you 8 slots. So there's the AND gate and the OR gate. And then, what I mentioned in my last episode was that putting ender pearls in the assembly table gives you pulsating chipsets. Using the pulsating chipset will allow you to make these guys, which are called Artogic gates. And what these will give you the option to do is do an energy pulsar. Now, if you can guess what this is, if you put this gate directly next to a chest, it will automatically withdraw items from that chest without any sort of engine. Yes, that's right. So if I wanted to put this thing over here, I would put the pulsating chipset so that whenever it was activated, boom, 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 it would pulsate at about, I think it's actually a faster speed than a redstone engine. We can test that later. So just for a little visual demonstration here, I've put both the AND gate and the OR gate onto these two chests. So right now, both these chests are empty. And what I've got them set up with is the AND gate here. Oops, there we go. So if I click on the AND gate, we've got, if there are items in an inventory, then emit a redstone signal. Alright? So now also if it has a red pipe wire, also emit a redstone signal. Right? And what you can tell it's emitting a redstone signal because you'll see, like this one here, if the redstone signal is on, then emit a pipe wire signal, which is the red pipe wire. So, if redstone signal is on, you'll see that it lights up. Okay? So if it's lit up, that means it's emitting right now. Okay? So now if I go down to the OR gate, see how I have the exact same setup? I have items in inventory, emit a redstone signal. If there's pipe wire, emit a redstone signal. So it's the exact same thing, except there's just two different gates. So there's an OR gate, which means an OR gate means that one of these circumstances can happen, or the other circumstance can happen. If either one of these happens, then it will emit a redstone signal. So let's turn our pipe wire on. What you can see is that one of them is true. It is receiving a red pipe signal, which means it's emitting a redstone signal. So if I were to actually take this out here and put a piece of redstone dust down, you'll see that it's actually receiving a signal. Where's my redstone dust? There we go. Boom. You'll see that it's actually receiving a redstone signal from this pipe. If I turn it off, you'll see the redstone signal goes off. Alright? So let's put our block back so it doesn't look so horrible. Now, as you can tell, it only needed one of those conditions to be true. Right? See how the other one is grayed out? It's not red like this, it's grayed out, so it means there's no items in the inventory. So if I were to put an item in the inventory, you'll see that it lights up then in that situation. Alright? So now if we go up to this chest, which is clearly empty still, you'll see that it only has one condition that is true, not the other condition. Well, if we were to turn this off and put an item in the inventory, you'll see that it switches now into the bottom option is now active, but not the top. Now you see how this one's still lit up, even though it's got an item in the inventory, but it's not receiving a red pipe signal. So, but it's still lit because it still has one condition is true. So now this one, since one condition is true and the other one is not, as an AND gate, it needs both of them. So then turning on the pipe signal, boom, now we have both conditions true, and now the gate will go ahead and execute whatever function you have set. Now if we had this as an Artogic gate, then it would actually emit a pulsar signal, and we could actually extract from that chest. Alright, so now, what can we use these for exactly? Well, I've got one in mind here, which actually, the whole purpose of this series, this Feed the Beast Strategy Guide series, is to kind of demonstrate how different mods can interact with each other. I've seen a lot of different mod spotlights. Like I said, I got a lot of this inspiration from Direwolf20 because he is really an excellent source and knowledgeable for all things Minecraft mods. But other than watching through tons of hours of footage from his Let's Play single player or his server play, you don't really find a lot of mods interacting with each other. So that's my theory behind this series. So what I've done here is I've taken the redstone energy cells and the magmatic engine from the thermal expansion mod that we talked about a long time ago, and I've incorporated some of these Buildcraft gates because these gates are incredibly useful. So what we've done is we've set up a little bit of structure pipe here in between these two engines because we don't want actual pipes, we don't want to move anything, we just want to communicate between these two devices. So now we talked about the magmatic engine, and it's been kind of nerfed, and the outputs aren't always the best and everything, but it's still a great engine in my opinion. If you can get a nice steady supply of lava, which of course you can always use the magma crucibles to break down netherrack and stuff, but if you really want to get down into the nitty gritties, it actually costs you just a little bit less to make the lava out of netherrack than it does to use a magma engine to power that machine. There's a whole bunch of numbers involved, but basically the magnetic engine will give off 4 Minecraft joules per tick, which I believe is about, well, one magma bucket is 1,000 millijoules, and it takes 800 millijoules to cook one piece of netherrack down into lava. So you're talking, you barely get a 200 millibucket. You get 200 millibuckets each time. So it's a really slow, tedious process. Anyway, I can go on and on about these numbers, but what I like to do though is if I can get lava, I like to pump them into my magma engines, and then I pump that engine power into a redstone energy cell. So now what you can see here is the redstone energy cell is full right now. So what we can do is we can put a gate next to that energy cell. And like I've seen here is a gate. I only need one condition, and that is if the redstone energy cell can store energy. Okay? So if this gets used up in any way, let's say we route it into our assembly table or whatever machines we want, as soon as this starts losing power, it'll start dropping, right? It'll go from 600,000, it'll start dropping. When that happens, this gate detects that it can store energy. There's more room for energy. That means it'll emit a red pipe signal. When the red pipe signal comes on, what you can see here is I've routed the red pipe. Unfortunately, the pipes will automatically orient to whatever corner it's programmed to, because there are 4 different colors of pipes you can have, and so they all orient to a different corner. So the red pipe is on the back corner here. It's a little hard to see, but the red pipe signal will turn on. So then what do I have? I have this over here. Oops, another gate above the engine, and that detects if there is a red pipe signal. And if there is a red pipe signal, then it emits a redstone signal. So if you can figure out what I'm doing here, basically, when I need energy, I tell this gate to turn this engine on. And so this redstone engine, of course, or this magma engine is set to require a high signal, which means that as soon as a redstone signal is applied, then it will turn on. Otherwise, it stays off. And now what I've learned about these magma engines, which I'm not sure if I talked about it in my early episodes, because there's been a couple updates to that since that video was made, but magma engines will not overheat as long as they have some place to put their energy. I repeat that. Magma engines will not overheat unless they have somewhere to put their energy. So what happens when a magma engine is pumping into well, here, let's show you here real quick. This thing starts pumping into an energy cell that's already full. Okay? What happens is the energy starts storing up. Yeah, so it starts storing up, and what it does is it caps out, and it starts to overheat the engine, and that is actually what we get when we see the engines break down. It's because they're not being properly vented. The energy doesn't have anywhere to go. So if I keep this up, I'm not sure the exact... Let's go and sit here and watch this for just a minute. Right now, the engine looks like it's pumping just fine, right? It's pumping into... However, obviously the energy cell is completely full, so it's no longer taking energy. You can see we're getting a really, really high, and when this starts getting... When the energy has nowhere else to go, that's when you get the broken engine effect. Okay, is it 4,000? Coming up on 4,000. There we go. So now you see that the engine broke. Now, instantly, the energy starts dissipating off, so if we fix it real quick, it'll get back up to 4,000, and right as it hits 4,000, the engine breaks, or the engine stops. So that's why we get that. Now, I've been doing some extensive testing on the, I forget what they call it when they do product testing on their engines to see what their longevity is, basically. So I had one engine pumping into a line of redstone energy cells so that it always had somewhere to go, and I could not get that engine to overheat. And then what I found was that the only way the engine overheats is when it's pumping into something that's full. And so that's, like I said, when you get that stored energy. So In order to alleviate that problem, what I've done is I've set up a little reservoir tank here, which obviously there's plenty of ways to make ginormous tanks, and I might actually get into those iron tanks in a later episode because I think they're pretty cool and in-depth. So what I've done is I've taken this tank here, I've hooked it up to liquid ducts, and of course if you remember my episode on liquid ducts, whenever you right click on these, oh, we've already lost some of our lava there. But clicking on this means it becomes a suction pipe. So I've applied a redstone signal to it to suck out of that tank, and it pumps directly into my magma engine. So, with the magma engine requiring a redstone signal to operate, what it does is as soon as it becomes low on energy, it tells the magma engine to turn on. So what we've done, let's go ahead and grab ourselves. I've got one full one here on my energy bar, and now I have one empty one here. I accidentally grabbed two. So what we're going to do is we're going to destroy that, since I'm in creative mode. And we're going to put an empty energy cell. So see what happens here. As soon as I put the empty energy cell, this should emit a signal, which will tell this one to emit a signal, which will tell the engine to turn on. You ready? There we go. Instantly starts filling it up. Now, if I had one that was slightly used, which as a matter of fact, I think this one's pretty close to being done. Oops. Oh no, that one is a brand new one too. Alright then, so I can't really show you how much. Actually, I can do this. Let's put this. What I did was I used that to bring this energy cell down just a little bit, because as you can see, it's slowly filling this one up. So what you can do is you can obviously route this gating system into a series of magma engines. You can have quite a huge long array of them. I think I've got about 6 of them lined up on my Minecraft fan server, Feed the Beast. And what I've done is I've linked it so that I can power them on and off. So I could have just put a gate so that whenever I have this energy cell is full, it should automatically shut off my gates. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this one out, since I know that it's going to take a long time to refill. So look, it's only got 21,000 on it. There's a 0-1. So this is a new one that's got 9059. So if I put that on, it still activates it because it still has room to store energy. But if we go ahead and watch this, let's see what happens when you can kind of hear. Let me close this window here because you can see that the gates are active and the engine is moving here in the background. So let's watch it as it gets close, because when it reaches 6,000, it's going to automatically shut off, right? Alright, so it looks like it hit 6,000, and boom, the engine shut off. Perfect. So yeah, this is just one of the many uses for these gates. Obviously, you can actually have these set up to automatically withdraw items from chests on your command or in certain situations. I mean, any number of things. And like I said, this is hopefully what the idea behind the strategy guide is going to be used for, is exactly how we can use different mods in conjunction with other mods. So I hope you guys learned something. Thanks so much for watching. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I appreciate the support. If you enjoyed what you saw, give me a like, maybe subscribe. Hopefully there's going to be a lot more of these videos coming, and of course if there's anything you guys would like to see in future episodes, I've actually included a Google form down below in the description that you guys can fill out for suggestions / feedback, so you guys tell me how I'm doing and what you guys like. I appreciate all the support, and stay tuned for more.